Guys, welcome back to Two Blokes Racing. More great stuff going on to this Lightning Puma race car here that we've got. So today what we're going to show you is how we've improved the intake. So we've already tuned the ECU, we've got the Ford Racing Puma map on there. We've got a 4-branch manifold, so we're slowly getting it towards that sort of spec. All we need to do now is make the intake a lot better. So we had the original airbox. We're taking it off. That saves quite a bit of weight actually. We'll show that in another video how much that weighs. And we've bought a pipe across air filter. 85mm is the ID that you need to fit onto the MAF, and I've built a custom box out of aluminium sheet to house that and make it cool, and I've even put the MAF in the cool box as well, so it should be a real good cold air intake. And we're taking the air through the headlights, so we've taken the back of the headlights, we've cut them off, and we've got some holes there, so that'll have direct airflow straight into there. We've straightened out the air path, it goes straight into the engine, and that should give us a few bhp, which is great. So have a look and see what you think. We thought we'd do something with the intake and get rid of the stock airbox. It's quite restrictive. There was some mods to the existing airbox, some extra holes drilled and stuff, but nothing major, so it was going to be lacking in power, especially when we've got other mods done like the Racing Puma ECU and 4-branch manifold, etc. So this is what we're doing. Basically got rid of the stock airbox, which was here, which was a really big airbox, took up a lot of space there, and it weighed quite a bit. I'll tell you what the weight is later in the video. So yeah, we've got a lot more space to play with, and there was also a bracket that was, we've relocated the battery. So the battery used to be in this position here, and there was a bracket around about here, so you can see where I've cut that off. It was connected there, and it was also connected down there, and then a bit more down there. So I'm going to make sure that's all rust protected and rub this down, and then put some just primer and top coat on there just to make it look a bit nicer and not rust, etc. But that was quite a weight, that bracket. Again, I'll put the weight of that bracket on, and I'll show all the parts that we've taken off since having the car very shortly, maybe in another video. So back to the intake. We've got a load of room, the bracket's out of the way as well for that battery, and we've got loads of space to play with. So what I'm going to do is keep the stock rubber hose here that goes in to the intake in the engine, and I've rotated it probably about 90 degrees or more, so it used to bend downwards, and now it bends towards the front of the car. And the reason for that is I'm going to have basically holes in the headlight here, and that will be the air intake going straight into the cone behind. So the headlight, what we've done there is, if I just take this off, I can show you the other side. Basically took the headlights off and then cut the back off of the headlight. So I'll show you this headlight here. This is what we ended up with. So that is the front of the headlight with the back cut off. And you can see I've left some of the plastic here. See where I've cut this bit? Now it's focused. Yep, so I left that end piece, that triangular piece, because it leaves this rectangle with the hole in it, which is basically the fitting that goes onto the wing there. So that made it easier if I just chopped it before then, and everything else I just cut with a hacksaw all the way around the edge. It took quite a while, and the bottom bit I decided to leave these tabs. So the focus is in a second. Here we go. There's a tab there. There's also another tab here. So what I'm going to do is drill holes in those, as I think I have already on this one. Yeah, you can see that. And they will be the bottom fixings for the headlight. So where it fixes down here, obviously the bumper's removed. But what I'm going to do is use some of these nice little galvanized steel fixing straps, And as you can see in the back of the headlight here, the fixing strap will fit onto that little piece that sticks out, and I'll probably bend it round, maybe fit it to the back of this front beam, and then the other one over the other side, there'll be somewhere reasonable to fix that. I could probably put it on this structural bar down here, and it'll be nice and secure, it won't flap around, that'll stop it moving. And yeah, as you can see, with the holes in there, we're going to have air straight into this lovely pipe across air filter. So it's 85mm diameter is what you need to go onto the MAF. That fits nicely. Got this from Demon Tweeks, great people. Quick delivery, all that stuff. So next thing I need to do is stop the engine heat going into the air intake. So I'm going to build a box out of aluminium. So I've got 1mm aluminium. It's a soft malleable grade of aluminium. I think it starts with number 1. I think the 1 series and the 3 series aluminiums are good for bending. You don't want the 6082, which is the machining grade. That doesn't bend, that'll crack. So pick the right grade and then build a box. I'm just going to get some cardboard, and I need to just profile it to the headlight, and then I'm going to have a rubber gasket touching the headlight, so it'll all be sealed from the hot air from the engine bay, and you just get the holes in the headlight providing the cold air straight into the intake. It should sound good, it should go well, I should give a few extra horsepower hopefully if we're lucky, and there you go. So I'll show the progress as we get on in a minute. Here we go, here's the box half made. So I'm just basically bending each piece after making it in cardboard. Best way to bend it is just put it on a bench, use a block of wood along the line that you're going to cut along, and then another block of wood just to push the flap over to where you need it. So yeah, it keeps it nice and straight. And then I've just used some little self-tapping screws here and there, just half pushed in, or half screwed in I mean, just to hold it roughly, and then I'm going to rivet it all together when it's done. But I'm just making the positions work with the bumper and all that stuff, and then I'll have a rubber gasket that goes up here like a bonnet gasket sort of thing. I'm going to put it on there. I might cut that bit off there. I'll just do some tinkering, make it fit well. There's loads of room. You see the screws sticking out there, but what I'm doing is basically putting the MAF through that hole into the hose that goes into the air intake, and then the MAF will be in here as well, so that'll be nice and cool, which is quite cool. Get it? And then there's a hole there for the wire. So over here, that's where the MAF wire is going to come through. So I'll put some plastic sheathing on there, some like conduit stuff, and I'll feed it through. So what I've done is I've slotted it on this side, as you can see, and then on this side another slot, and it ends up with a hole. So you can just fix it in before I rivet it together, and then I'll basically have it inside ready to plug it into the MAF, which is perfect. And then I've got another piece here. This is 1mm aluminium, by the way. I think I might have said that. So it's the malleable aluminium that's good for bending. I think it's a 1000 series. There's all different grades. And I'm going to use another piece here just for the top, and then we'll see what we're going to do with the headlight and how we're going to put holes in there, maybe in the bumper here. Although it's looking quite high now, so I won't need to do it in the bumper, I can just do it in the headlight. And you can see if I just swing this round, I've got just one fixing in the top of the headlight there. If I bring that around like that, it will fit like a glove. And in here, nicely close to the headlight with the gasket, there'll be no warm air going in there. That is going to be awesome. Right, there you go guys. Here's the custom made sheet aluminium air filter box for the Puma, made up now and in position. So this fits perfectly with the headlight, with the curves just around the edge there, and this goes inside the bumper, and then there's another little slot there for the bumper to go into. This curves around the front of the light, and then it's bent here, as you can see, down to create a nice tight seal, and I'm going to put a rubber gasket on there. I'll show you that in a second. And then to fix it, basically there's some nice holes in the right position here, so I've just put some appropriate bolts and washers and spacers under there, and there's a spare couple there. Let's just move that away. So yeah, so that's basically fixed on nicely, and there you go. So the filter's in the box, and the MAF is also in the box. So the filter's screwed to the MAF, then you push the whole lot in through the back, and then I've got the slots, as I showed before, as you can see down the back there, for the connector for the MAF. So that's all fine, that connects in nice, and yeah, plenty of room around here. And you look in the back, so I just got to connect this hose, and it sticks out nicely, pushes through, you see. So then you can just clip the hose onto there, and off you go. So now the final stages of the custom airbox build behind the headlight. I've still got to drill the holes in the headlight, which would be quite straightforward, and there's a bit more about that later because of rain and stuff, so I've got a solution for that. So yeah, here it is, all installed, and all I'm doing now is basically strapping the headlight in. So there's a little strap there that's going to fix onto that little bolt that's poking through, and that will hold it in place, and then it's very easy to undo it and take it off to service the air filter if needed. There you go. And there's the breather as well, so I've got another filter on there, and I've just made a little custom bracket, so that's just like quite easy to do. And there you go. And that's not in the air path either, I've hidden it behind the front cross member, so makes sense because it doesn't really want air blowing into it. It's extracting air from the head, so just hiding it there is good. Got a nice straight flow into the intake, which is great, and it's all really well sealed. There's no hot air that's going to get into there at all. And then if you move the headlight up, this is what you see, and there you go. I've just got the bonnet type rubber seal on there as well, and then obviously no hot air gets in there whatsoever because it's really tight to the headlight. And then you can see in there the lovely filter and the MAF perfectly housed and all plugged in. This is going to be awesome. So for the light air intake, I've put another hole in there, so I've managed to get 4 30mm holes in, which is going to create a huge amount of air going into there, which is fantastic. There is also another area I could get a bit more air in, which is here, and what I'm thinking of doing is I need a solution for rainwater. So if we are racing in the rain, or even if it's parked outside, what I was thinking was putting some black electrical tape across these, just when you're transporting the car and when you're racing in the rain. But then we need air coming in, so I've got these little round vents. So if you place these up that way, so the vents are pointing down, the rain shouldn't go in. And because I've got a space here, I could drill it into there and I could put it in, but then we'd be getting less air in the rain than we would in the dry. So just trying to consider that, see what's best. Or maybe there's another solution I've got. If I can get some 30mm vents that go in here, we could just plug them with some vent louvers when it's raining and take them out when it's not. There wouldn't be so much difference in airflow then. And also I wanted to say about the lights, how they are looking quite standard. It's because I sprayed the back of them, so you can not see too much in there. Now they're fitted, but yeah, they're very black, and it's a matte black rubber paint that you can peel off. So if you don't like it, you can just peel it off. It comes off. It's rubber paint. It's called, you've probably heard of it, Plasti Dip. So here we go. That's what I used. Great stuff. It's really good for loads of things that you know you may want to change colour of, and then you might not like it in the future. You can take it back off again, so that's good for that. I mean, these will stay at this colour. We're not wanting to take it off, but it's a really good paint because it sticks to pretty much anything, and I didn't have to use primer or didn't have to rub it down. It's brilliant. so just whack it on. The other thing was, when I said about cutting the back off the light and I kept the top corner, that was here. So up here I left a bit of plastic and that was connected to this piece. So after swinging this light up and down, trying to move it to basically engineer the airbox, I found out that this bit under here was just stuck on with adhesive, and eventually it just came free. So that's why I've got 2 rivets there now, so I've just riveted that on. It's good to keep that standard fixing, makes sense. So I've done that, and over the other side I've done exactly the same thing. So you can see up there, just got a couple of rivets in. Down the bottom I've used these straps as I mentioned, and you can see them fitted now. So that's what they do. And over this side, there you go, there's the same. And then I also got the other fitting going through here, so it comes from the light. I don't know if you can see in there, but it comes from in there and then it just screws into the side there. Thanks very much for watching, guys. Appreciate your views. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and there's more videos to come. Take it easy. Bye.